I was going to.
That was very, like, dramatic artist of you.
Thank you. Speaking of dramatic artistry, today we're talking about the Oscars. Isn't that wonderful? Hi, I'm Zach.
I'm Denise.
And
this
is
the
a real big deal. Ooh, not planned, worked out. So, where to even begin? I guess the show was... it was
lackluster.
Yeah,
I think.
you know.
Although I think after last year, it's hard because last year it ended so crazy.
Just chaos.
With that Best Picture screw up. So like this year, I think like the Academy themselves tried to be really like
streamlined.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're like, let's not screw up again.
And like I don't know, like for me, none of the speeches were amazing. Like I mean, Jimmy Kimmel did pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to have been in that theater when he surprised all those people.
Right. It just wasn't like crazy memorable, I guess.
Right.
You know.
Like some like my favorite opening like monologues from recent years is Hugh Jackman.
That was a good one.
He's one of my favorites. During the recession year, I'm not sure which year that was, 2008.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that, and it was just great because he sang because he's Hugh Jackman, but.
Huge jacked man.
But yeah. Anyways. So.
Well, why don't we just dive into it? Some of our, like, I guess, more sought-after awards. I mean, not that all of them aren't worthy, but, you know.
Let's be real. Some of the ones most people don't care about.
They either don't care or don't know about.
No, right.
Like, especially the sound ones.
The sound editing and mixing.
Yeah.
Every year we're always just like, what's the difference?
Yeah, that or, like, I swear they switch it. Where they're like, oh yeah, this one means this now. I'm like, well, but last year, you know, but fine, whatever.
Because a lot of years they actually say the difference.
Yeah.
This year they didn't though. They didn't say like what sound
Because even they
editing.
know. They're like,
yeah.
yeah.
They're like, we're not really sure.
People are getting sound stuff.
Right. 2 words for sound out there.
Yeah. Oh boy. So, I guess why don't we just start it off the bat with the animated film award. I know you were pretty happy about that.
I was super pumped that Coco won. Coco won, by the way. It was up with Boss Baby, which
I don't.
Why?
I understand, like, not that many animated films came out this last year,
yeah,
but the fact
Lego
that
Batman,
that one, I know,
like,
that's what. But like the fact that that one made it in, first off, I was like, all right, that's nonsense.
Right.
But like.
But it was also up with The Breadwinner and Ferdinand and Loving Vincent, which I think Loving Vincent was probably the one that was closest in the running with Coco.
Yeah.
But
Ferdinand was okay. I just don't know if it's like worthy of an Oscar, like Oscar award winning film.
More
like,
than
no.
Boss Baby, though.
Yeah. Oh god.
But yes, it won. I was super pumped because I adore that film so hard.
Well, and it is a pretty great film.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've talked a little bit about that before on here, but yeah, I mean, it definitely was awesome that they won, and I think it was the most deserving one from, you know, this last year for sure. As for Best Actor, Mr. Gary Oldman, huh?
With Mr. Serious Blood.
Yeah, I mean, that was, you know, Darkest Hour was pretty good, and I think he pulled off a good Winston. I was a bit surprised, because, I mean, he was up against Denzel.
Which, in a role a movie that nobody saw, like, or has heard
right?
of.
I was
like,
just like, okay, well,
yeah.
They were like, well, Denzel was in something, so here we go. We also had Daniel Day-Lewis, which was...
in the last one he's ever going to do, supposedly.
So, of course, you know, and, like, not that he didn't deserve to be up there with the other noms, but it was just like... Of course, they're gonna be like, oh, Daniel Day-Lewis, and slip that in.
Gotta get it in while he's still an actor.
Oh yeah, and then I never get this guy's last name right.
It's Timothée. It's literally like Timothée Chalamet or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, he did good. You know, I thought he deserved to be up there, and then Daniel.
Oh,
you know, I actually really wanted him to get it. I'm glad Gary got it. He deserved it, but I probably would have been okay with Daniel getting it because. That performance was real good. It was very good.
I mean, he's an actor who's one of those guys who can disappear into a role, so it is very deserving where you're just like, you can't even see Gary in there anymore.
Right.
But
yeah,
I wasn't surprised either that he won, because it was very much like he had been winning many in other award shows and stuff. So
well, it's just not that shocking. I mean, if you've seen the film, you'd be like, yeah. I mean, this guy, it deserves something, you know. So yeah, I'm glad he got it. It was pretty good. What do we got next?
Best actor in a supporting role.
Ooh.
Again, kind of not surprised that Sam Rockwell won for
and it's
Three
Sam
Billboards.
Rockwell. He deserved it.
I know you thought he deserved it more than Woody. You were pretty good that Woody.
I would say
Although
that.
I do have to say, for the amount of time Woody was actually in the film, he did a very good job in the part.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think he definitely deserved to like be recognized for it. I just, if you had to pick one from the film, I mean, in my opinion, Sam was the winner. But Woody did do a great job.
Yeah.
I don't want to discount that at all. But I mean, Sam. I mean, come on. Who else was in that category?
William Dafoe, The Florida Project.
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins, Shape of Water, which he was so good. He was like
really
I that scene where he's sitting next to the tub, drawing him, like just and he's talking about just his life kind of, and then it's just very.
It was good.
It was good.
I enjoyed him.
And then Christopher Plummer, basically the middle finger to Kevin Spacey. All the money in the world, like literally,
my Lord.
Last minute change, probably 10 minutes in the movie.
Yeah.
Let's drop him an Academy Award. Like
they're just like, hey Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
So what do you do? But good. No, I think and actually that's the one I was like, okay, like really. But everyone else on that list I thought deserved to be on it at least. Love Willem Dafoe. So I was kind of like, I could have gone either way with that. I think Florida Project was a very interesting movie. But,
I have not seen it, but.
Yeah. But Sam Rockwell deserved it. I mean, dude's a great actor, and I really think he's underrated. But now he's got an award, so maybe it's not as underrated. What do I know? Moving on to the actress category.
Which, this was no surprise either. I think Frances McDormand from Three Billboards also won. But she had been like sweeping all of her awards, basically. Like,
I mean, she deserved it. She did a great job.
It is very good, although like I personally liked other movies better than Three Billboards.
I agree. Three Billboards was good, but I still don't think it's like this super masterpiece of a film. To be honest, like it was good.
I mean, it didn't win Best Picture, so other people thought the same. But I mean, like it's a very good film. I do highly suggest watching it. It is not an easy watch in the sense that like it's not.
It's not something you can just jump into,
right? It's pretty heavy topics and just life. But
well, you have to be kind of ready to watch it. Like, it's one of those ones where you sit down and you're like, all right, I'm watching Three Billboards. It's not like,
it's also kind of
I can just throw this movie in. Yeah, kind of does some weird things here and there, but it's cool,
But it very well acted.
Shots were great.
So she won. Sally Hawkins was also there, Shape of Water, which I love her. Like, she's kind of just coming on the radar for some people, but I knew her from, like, BBC, like, period pieces.
Yeah.
Like, but she's amazing.
For sure.
Margot for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird, and the obligatory Meryl for The Post. Which, she
Post
did very
was
well.
good, and she did good in it, but it's like, how many times are we going to do this? Academy, how many times are we going to do this? Like, I like Meryl, but you guys just, you find any excuse to make her be there. Like, I don't know. Post was good. I think she definitely deserved to be recognized for it, but it's just like...
Do you think she's ever just like, I don't want to be nominated again?
No, she's got to love it. She's got to love it. She gets to wear all these dresses, go out and have a good time. Everybody loves her.
And everybody always, every year, there's always at least two people who directly, like, they make a joke
call her
about...
out.
Right,
Yeah.
like, they make a joke about Meryl or something. Because, Tiffany, Haddish, is that how you say her last name?
I believe so.
From Girls Trip. She, like, said that. She's like, Meryl, I want you to be my mom for a day. Like,
good Lord.
But,
well, can you imagine if she didn't go to one? How many, like, people would call her out, like,
where's
the entire
Meryl?
time? Yeah.
But she did very well.
Yeah. I thought, everybody in that category did great in their films, respectively.
Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah. That went to...
This one I was slightly surprised it was Allison Janney.
Yeah.
Because I thought... that it was going to be Laurie Metcalf from Lady Bird, because that had kind of been...
She did good.
Like, what you heard that It was her, and then I was slightly surprised that Allison won over her. But
well, I'm like, I don't know. I thought Mary J. Blige did a good job, but I don't know if it really deserved a nomination.
I have not seen Mudbound. It's on Netflix, by the way.
I mean, it was good, but I was just like, okay, like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also had Octavia Spencer
from Shape of Water, and then
she did good.
Leslie Manville from Phantom Thread, which I have not seen Phantom Thread. Have you seen?
Yeah, I saw Phantom Thread. She did good in it. I would say she deserved to be in this category a little bit more than Octavia Spencer did, only because, like, not that Octavia didn't do a good job in the film, but I just felt like, I don't know, like it just seemed like another role for her. So, but it was still good. I don't know. I don't want to like criticize the role because she did a good job in it. I just don't know if it's worthy of a nomination. I guess I don't know. One of those things, but every one of them did great in their roles respectively. So yeah. Dang. Let's save that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Later. We'll move to cinematography, which yes, Blade Runner,
2049.
yes. Thankfully, I am so happy that won.
Yeah, I was very okay with that winning because it's
so good.
It's good. Like
it's so good.
Just seeing what was on screen.
It was amazing. It was
really
amazing,
good.
and like to follow up from what they had from the original, and then blow that and everything around it out of the water was just great, and quite literally out of the water in like some scenes. So, you know, but yes, I was very happy. I wanted that to win so bad. We also had Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Mudbound, and Shape of Water in there. All of those looked really good. I thought all the cinematographers did a great job. The shots were great, stylized, awesome. But in my opinion, like, yeah, they all came second to Blade Runner. I would say my next favorite would probably been Dunkirk. Only because, like,
It's Chris Nolan.
Come on, you know, like...
You don't need to say anything else.
That's pretty good. And then, like, everything else just looked really good, too. So, for sure.
Costume design.
Indeed.
Is the next on our list, which we were kind of talking before this that Phantom Thread won, and then it's kind of, and you know, Phantom Thread I'm sure is great costumes, but to me it felt like the obvious choice.
Yeah, it was like, oh well, there it is.
Right. Not, I mean, you know.
Yeah, not that I didn't deserve it. It's just like, yeah.
Because
it was pretty
it's about
easy.
Clothes.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well.
Right. Excuse me, but yeah, it just, I don't know. Not that I think it, you know, again, didn't deserve it, but.
Right. Well, and then, like, the fact that Beauty and the Beast made it on there, it's just like, I mean, not that it didn't,
I'm not that surprised, just because, like, I think it was Colleen Atwood.
Yeah.
And she gets nominated quite often, but,
true.
like, because there's those shots that, like, when the prince is not the piece, where it's very, like, Victorian stylized, and I think some of that she kind of made on her own.
I was just thinking, like, a lot of the characters are CG, so it was just like, I mean, it makes you wonder, like, how much costumes were a part of this film, and then, like, the costumes they do have, yes, they look good, but, like, there's not that many, so it's like, I mean, you know, you gotta kind of wonder. I guess Gaston looked really good in his costume, and then, like, I really loved Emma Watson's dress, like the bell dress.
The
Very
blue
nice.
one or the
both
yellow one?
And the yellow one. I mean, the blue one looked really good. The yellow one looked really good. And yeah, Darkest Hour. I mean, yeah, it looks like the period. So like they did a good job of making it be like, oh yeah, this is definitely like 1940. So.
Although sometimes like the ones that where you don't think like should deserve it because the costumes aren't like opulent and over the top, like are almost the ones that probably really should, because they make it look right. They make it look flawless, and that's, you know, maybe what some of the Academy people really look for.
Yeah, I can see that. And then had Shape of Water. It looked good. It definitely looked like period, like I said before. I can see that definitely being a contender. And then Victoria and Abdul, I thought did a pretty good job. That movie's a bit nonsense, I will say. I don't know how I really feel about the film, but costumes did look like they were from that time, and I mean it looked good. I mean all these are basically, besides I guess Phantom Thread, really more period, and they all matched it. So I guess they did their job.
Although I think even Phantom Thread is in like the 60s or the 70s,
Yeah.
so still kind of a period
Yeah,
piece. But
I guess so it's like they all did it. They all did their job. Nice job. Good job, guys. You did it. Listen to me pander. So directing.
Guillermo.
Yeah, he did it, and he is very deserving of it, and I'm glad he got it. I would have also liked to see Jordan Peele get it, because Get Out was real good.
We like ourselves some Get Out.
Yeah, it was pretty good, and he did a fantastic job with it. Christopher Nolan obviously did a great job with Dunkirk, so he deserved it too. I still, like I said, would have rather Jordan. We had
Greta for Lady Bird.
She did good. It looked good, and I can't imagine trying to piece together all that. I know it was, at least from what I heard, it was a pretty critical shoot, so they had to get it done in a small amount of time.
Yeah.
So that's always impressive. And then Paul Thomas Anderson with Phantom Thread looks like a good film. He did a great job doing all that, but I think that was the weakest of all of them. But I wouldn't say it's like he did a bad job. I would just say all these other guys did a better job. So,
but Guillermo definitely
he deserved it.
Some of the shots in Shape of Water and just
the way he had things flow too. He did a great job.
Right, it was really good, and I mean, I think some people knew of Guillermo before this, with his Hellboys and a couple other.
Some of the stuff he likes to do. He's real nice and weird. I love it.
But this is the first movie that a lot of people probably, come into
really
contact.
Got on his radar.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, he's very out there, but he likes those kind of, that style, but very well deserved.
Indeed.
Do you want to?
Yeah, we'll
film editing.
Film editing, which went to Dunkirk. Yeah, I think they did a good job with the edits. The cuts were smooth and flowed pretty well.
Although it is funny because Dunkirk is one of those very dividing movies because it was people loved it or hated it a lot. There was no kind of in between.
Yeah. I don't know anybody else was it's Dunkirk.
Right, and some people I don't think liked how it was cut and edited together.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of them thought it was kind of jarring.
Right, because they couldn't always keep up with what time it was.
Yeah, but I actually enjoyed that. I thought it was a really cool element. Yeah, I thought great editing there. Baby Driver, loved it. I mean, I could see kind of why it might not have gotten the attention at this point, but at the same time, it was very good, and I liked the editing of that, especially a little bit of the chop that they did there, but it was fun. I, Tonya was pretty good. Same with Shape of Water, and then 3 Billboards. I mean, all of them did a great job of editing. Everything flowed really well. But in the end, I do think Dunkirk deserved it, only because I personally like that style. But,
we both like ourselves some Nolan as well.
He does a good job. He does.
Yeah.
We'll just
makeup and hairstyling.
Yeah. So Dark Tower won that. Makes sense. I mean, I know there wasn't a lot there, but there was enough where everybody around, their hair and everything looked like the period.
Well, and again too, literally Gary, you lost Gary within Winston, so
it was great.
Yeah.
That alone. Victoria Abdul and Wonder. I mean,
this is always a category that only has 3 nominations usually.
Well, I think it's a hard one,
Right.
And then
I'll never forget. 2 years ago was the bad grandpa Johnny Knoxville got nominated.
I was that's kind of funny.
Right,
I mean,
but
he's in the suit the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, those 3 were all pretty good. I could see why each one would have been brought up. But out of those 3, I'd pick Darkest Hour. As for original score, Shape of Water won versus some other films, obviously. But no, Shape of Water, I liked the score a lot. It sounded good. It made you keep going and immersed you in the world.
Right, it was very, they knew what to, how to make you feel with the music a lot.
Yeah. Dunkirk, very good. I mean,
it's Hans.
It's Hans, and like everything just sounds great, and it's Nolan, Hans making their music. You know, like they do their thing, and that's why they're there. You know, Phantom Thread, also pretty good. It was like kind of okay. I mean, I wouldn't have probably picked it, but I don't know. It's just not what I would have picked.
Yeah.
The Wars. J-Dubs is my man, John Williams. Might not have loved the film, but I did love the score.
And I mean, it's John Williams,
John
so like
Williams,
he did
J-Dubs.
a great job.
Ooh.
So.
Getting me all hot. No,
And
I did enjoy it.
And then Three Billboards was also up.
Yeah, Three Billboards was very good. I thought it also immersed you in the world, so it did its job for sure. And I don't know, all these scores too. Then none of them were like so overbearing that I wasn't paying attention to the film, and that's kind of something I look for in a score, as if it's like I notice it, but it's not taking me away from
like
what's
happening.
happening.
Like it suddenly like pushes you to how you should feel,
right?
But not like
it's not just like, oh yeah, listen to this great music, but here's a scene that has nothing to like do with what's going on. So yeah, so that's good. I think all of them deserve to be in there. Shape of Water definitely deserved to win. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded either Dunkirk or Star Wars winning, but I'm a little biased for both of those. So what do you do? Yeah.
For original song, I was kind of surprised that Remember Me won. Not to say that I'm not so glad, because that song is great and heartbreaking and so heartfelt with all, like, what's behind it. But I really thought This Is Me kind of had that on lock.
Yeah, I was a little surprised.
I was really
myself.
surprised because, like, it kind of had, like, I think the Golden Globes it had won and some other places. And, like... I mean, it's just kind of like an anthem cry for people, like, lately. And I mean, I know you're not the biggest fan of Greatest Showman.
I'm just so sick of hearing it. Like, I respect the film itself, like, it's fine, and, like, the music's fine, but it is not.
And, like,
that good.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Keala. Like, the woman who sings it, she's great, brilliant. Like, you can always feel the emotion with it, which I do have to say, actually, her performance was the best out of the 5.
I believe that.
Like, it was so good. But, so Remember Me won. I was slightly surprised, but, like I said, not upset.
Well, and then with, like, original song, a lot of years, I'm kind of off put by most of the music anyway, just because I'm kind of like, okay, I don't know. I'm not as big into it. So, like, for example, Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name, I wasn't that impressed with. I was just kind of like, okay. And then same with Mighty River from Mudbound. Both of those, I was just kind of like, well, all right, I don't know. They weren't that impressive to me, so I understand.
Well, and it's always funny because I feel like, and then the last one, Stand Up for Something, Marshall, like, you just don't know about them either. You haven't heard them.
Right.
But, like, with Remember Me and This Is Me, both me's, you heard them all the time.
I was kind of sad I actually didn't get a chance to see Marshall. I really wanted to.
I wanted to, too, although I've heard that it's kind of less about Marshall and more about the Josh Gad character, which it makes me kind of upset.
Well, it's like, come on, But
anyways,
I do like
point.
Josh Gad.
But yes, so kind of a slight surprise in that category.
But it's welcomed. I like Remember Me.
Yeah.
I like it more than This Is Me right now. So. Yeah. So production design. Old Shape of Water came and washed it up.
Which
yeah.
I don't know if that deserves
the joke or the film.
The joke.
I was gonna say, Shape of Water.
No,
did a
Shape
pretty
of
good
Water
job.
had very good production design. Just like the apartment, like that they live in,
It was very good.
and then just that whole like underground like facility, and
It was all real nice.
it was good.
Although I would have liked to see Blade Runner win it, personally, because like every set was a new piece of glory. But that's okay. I respect that Shape of Water won it. Would have rather had Blade Runner though. Dunkirk and Darkest Hour, very good jobs. Hard to screw up though, so I'm not really.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, yeah, those are kind of the weaker ones, just because like. Especially Darkest Hour. I mean, you just need to find the old English buildings, and they're all kind of preserved. So it's like, well,
And a beach.
yeah. And then like Dunkirk, a beach, and then some boats and stuff. So
Right.
not that that's not impressive. because they all are. They all look very impressive, and they all did a great job. But, I mean, honestly, Shape of Water and Blade Runner, in my opinion, did a way better job. I do not think Beauty and the Beast should be in this category at all. I'm sorry. I
don't know. I mean, some of the, like, sets and stuff were pretty detailed. Like, they literally built the village.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I was kind of like...
built the ballroom and, like, all the places and...
Yeah, it just didn't marvel me, at least. I don't know.
Well, you didn't like that film really anyway.
It was just very mediocre. I don't know. You know, like, I thought it was... Yeah, it's Beauty and the Beast. Like, you know, it was fine. I did like the building in Paris, though.
Oh, when they go back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also liked that they did that in the film because it's like, oh, look, this is something new.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it was good. So, yeah, Shape of Water, nice job. As for...
Go down to the sound.
Yeah, we're just going to go to...
We never can tell apart.
So, for sound editing, Dunkirk, and I guess let's just combine
sound
them
mixing,
for sakes.
Dunkirk.
So, both of them got it. And funny enough, in both categories, it is all the same thing. So, that's why I'm starting to think that even the Academy doesn't know which one it is. And that's fine, but then just make it one category.
Right.
You guys are...
Just make it sound. Yep. Like, I don't understand...
Just make it sound and then just be like, yeah, we take into consideration both editing and mixing. And
right.
Not to discount whoever does sound for films, I personally would never. Just working on the little bit of sound I have for between like this and then some short films, it is a nightmare and I don't want to deal with it. So kudos to you guys, but we don't need separate categories. Unless like there's a big push for it, I don't see why we
right.
change them. And especially when you look at years like this where they are both the same films.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dunkirk won, but then we have Shape of Water, The Last Jedi, Blade Runner, and Baby Driver. And honestly, I loved the sound in basically all these films. So any of them, it could go to, in my opinion. Dunkirk did a very good job, and it's Chris Nolan and Hans. And
I thought kind of the oddball out in the sense that like I didn't actually think it was going to win was Baby Driver, although I think the sound in that film is so good.
Well, it's critical to the film.
Right. Like, but just like because of Edgar Wright's use of music along with the sound and just the simple things like in the opening scene where he's sitting in the car listening to the music and the like wipers and the wipers just clicking and just all of that, like he had that so planned out. But like I mean, you know, Dunkirk is
it's Dunkirk, you know. Dunkirk.
You know. I was waiting for that.
I've been trying not to. It's so good. Whenever I hear it, I just gotta be like Dunkirk. It gets in my head. Yeah, so I mean, all of them deserve it. Dunkirk, obviously, apparently deserved it more, so good job. As for visual effects,
this is the only category that I think I'm not necessarily happy with the outcome.
See, I like that Blade Runner one, but I could see, honestly, most of these films making it.
So in the categories, Blade Runner, Guardians 2, Kong, Skull Island, which I'm slightly surprised at.
Yeah, I am too.
Although I do have to say Kong looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But
the rest is kind of
right. And then Last Jedi and War for the Planet of the Apes. Personally, I think War for the Planet of the Apes should have won. Like the fact that we're 3 films deep. Well, we're done in that film series, but like 3 films in, and like literally, you're so attached to Caesar. Because they made it look real. I mean, like, literally...
They all look so realistic.
They're so realistic. And, like...
The mocap drive is
It's
insane.
Crazy. And how is it that he's never won? Yeah. Like, they've never won for that film series. Right. And so I'm a little disappointed in that regard. I mean, Blade Runner...
I'm actually also surprised that... Not that they didn't do a good job for visual effects, but I'm surprised that Guardians got in as a nomination for it. Because it was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, not that I don't dig it, but yeah.
But and then, to me, I don't know, like...
Yeah, I would have either gone with Blade Runner or Planet of the Apes, maybe Star Wars, but... I don't know, it didn't look that... I mean, it looked good, but it didn't look... I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to rip on Star Wars more than I already do, but goddamn. But, anyway, I'm glad Blade Runner won, but I could also see War for the Planet of the Apes winning, because it is also very
I mean,
good.
just, it's so good, but...
Then writing for the adapted screenplay, Call Me By Your Name won. It was written pretty well, so it makes sense. Disaster Artist, which they did a hell of a job adapting it, so that Yeah, makes sense. Logan, oh my, I wish Logan would have won because it deserved anything it could get. Oh, that was a very good film. Molly's Game, I was not impressed with.
I didn't mind it.
But, like, as far as the writing, I wasn't impressed by it. But, I mean, it's more of adapting it, which they probably did a good job of adapting. I wouldn't know. Didn't read the book.
Molly Bloom's book.
And then, I suppose. And then same with Mudbound. I didn't read that, but I'm sure it's fine. It's probably adapted well. I don't know. But, yeah, I would have liked to see Logan win that category, but I don't mind that. Call Me By Your Name. Mm-hmm. Then original.
Yeah.
Get Out won it, and it deserved it. It needs it, and I'm happy it got
it. We were so Zach was working, so he was like doing the figuring out who won online.
Just waiting.
But I was at a party, I guess, even though it wasn't like a full party, but a get together watching the Oscars. Literally, when Jordan won, we all were just like, woo! Like, we were so excited.
He deserved it, and it was so good. I have not seen anything that original in so long.
It's crazy. And, you don't see something like that, in that thriller
I was so
area,
taken aback. Just watching the film,
just the shots that he came up with, the writing. Literally all of it. And he said it took him 20 years to get this thing done.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, not gonna lie, I usually can kind of predict what's happening in films, but this is one where, for the most part, I did not know what was going on, and I really appreciate it because it was all fresh and it was all new. And Jordan did a great job, and I loved it. Other ones in this category were The Big Sick, very good. Lady Bird, also good. Shape of Water, also good. And 3 Billboards, also good. They were all very well written, but in my opinion, Get Out, way up here. Everything else can sit right down here because you're not as good. You're good, but you're not as good. Although, if Get Out wasn't there, I would have wanted the Big Sick to win, actually, because that was tasty.
But yeah, Get Out obviously it's rated R for reasons, but it's a very skillfully done R because it's not, there's swearing, but it's not. Everything's
until the
done,
later half, it doesn't get to.
Right. But everything's done for a reason. He was very just.
He was so meticulous about
it.
I loved it. I loved it. The care he took and everything. It was such a good.
It's so good.
I can't even.
And there's a little bit of comedy in there, and just it's a good mix of genres. And I'm not usually into scary movies. This is more of a thriller.
Yeah, it is definitely more of a thriller.
But I was a little nervous going in because I didn't know where it was gonna go.
Because it just kept. It was I don't even know. And then
And then it takes you somewhere where you don't expect to go, and it's amazing.
So yeah, we love Get Out. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. And now for the big
one,
the best picture. Up for the nominations were Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards. And Shape of Water took it, which I'm not surprised. I thought it definitely was one of the ones that deserved it, and I'm happy that he got that and that everybody.
Yeah, I'm not upset that he got that either.
No, it was a very good film. Wasn't my personal choice. I probably would have gone with Get Out or maybe Dunkirk, but I would have probably gone Get Out. I did not think that.
I was kind of glad 3 Billboards didn't win. I'm not hating on 3 Billboards, but again, not as amazing as I think some people.
It's
some
good,
people
but I
are
don't
just
think
I love it.
Yeah.
And then you get the people who are like us, who are we know it was filmed well, it was acted well.
It's very good. It's just not. I don't know. It wasn't my idea of this is the best film this year. I would not. I would not look at that and go, this is the best. I would say it's very good, but I don't think it's the best.
I feel like The Post.
The Post was just oh look, Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, Spielberg. What this
Drop
is?
it in the
We
category.
need it here. Yeah.
And again, really good. Go see it if you haven't.
I don't know if I personally think Call Me By Your Name deserved to be in the Best Picture noms, but
I have not
it's
seen
fine.
it, so I can't.
I didn't love it that much, so I guess I could see people who are really interested in it being like, yeah, this should be number one, but I just it wasn't my personal. Darkest Hour and Dunkirk, they were both very good. I would.
What I love is that they're both kind of about the same
Yeah.
topic.
Well, they kind of go hand in hand because it is the same time frame and they both mention each other.
Right.
Especially in Darkest Hour. Literally, it's talking about the plan to
That's
get
kind
them
of
out
his
of
big
Dunkirk.
thing, though, too.
Yeah.
But.
Well, and I was joking around when I watched it because I've seen it twice, and this last time I watched it, I watched it with some coworkers. And we were joking around, just like it'd be funny if it just stopped right when they announced the whole thing with Dunkirk, and then just cut to that film, and then cut, but like just do intercut between like Darkest Hour and that.
Someone online should do like.
I'm sure it would be such a long movie. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
But no, both those are very good. I wouldn't have been as upset if they would have made it. I don't know if Darkest Hour over Dunkirk though. I probably would have gone Dunkirk, but that's neither here nor there. Do not think Phantom Thread should get it. It's a good movie, not that good. Sorry. Lady Bird, awesome coming of age and figuring out who you are and everything. But I'm glad that Shape of Water won over it just because.
Well, I think too, like Shape of Water. Get Out was very original, like we talked about, but like Shape of Water
also
is
pretty original.
Literally, it's about a mute woman falling in love with like a fish god. So like literally like, and the funny thing about it is too, it's like I've heard from so many people that it is very strange and it's kind of odd going in because it's literally a love story between an amphibian man and this woman. So it's kind of hard for people to like wrap their heads around. But if you can let that go, it's a very good film. Very good film. So, because it was just funny, like listening to people exit from that movie. There were like loves it. And then there were
like, what did I just see?
They're like, what did I watch? Or they're just like, I don't know how to feel about it.
I did have a couple walk out. It was two older people, and they're like, that is weird, that is perverse, and we will not have it. I'm like, well, goodbye, because it was pretty good. And obviously it was good enough to get the best picture, so ha, stingy old bastards.
Yeah, maybe not.
I will be nice about it, but,
But if you can get past that, and obviously this movie is not going to be for everybody, but I do recommend it. It is a good watch.
Water's very good, very good. But. So, that's kind of all the ones we're going to talk about. Not that we don't appreciate everything that gets put in. Same with, but like some of the categories we just aren't as passionate about.
Well, and we don't know. Like we haven't seen them. A lot of the documentary stuff are very much available sometimes through Netflix and stuff, but it's just not. We haven't gotten there. Like,
we're busy. We work in a movie theater. Like what do you want from me? All right. I watch these films. I do what I can. I don't need to watch everything, but I do. So I'm sorry. I do definitely recommend checking them out. Obviously they were good enough to be in this list, and a lot of them I've heard good things about. So.
And again, some of them are like on Netflix.
And I hate to be like this about it, but with a lot of these style things, like between documentaries and shorts, people put a lot more time and effort into them because they really want them to either say a message or they really are trying to push for something. Mm-hmm. So they're probably worth the time. We just haven't had it. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of just the list of everything that won and some more thoughts on that. Yeah, I don't know.
So
the Oscars.
You stuck with us through all that.
Yeah. Sorry we ramble, especially me, rambling through. But, yeah, it was a good time. Thanks for watching. I'm Zach.
Denise.
And this is The Real Big Deal. Please give us a like, share us, tell your friends, tell them to watch us talk about the Oscars, right? That's pretty sweet.
Or anything we're nerdy about.
Yeah, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to throw them at us. Love to hear that feedback. And on top of that, too, keep your eyes peeled. We might have some more crazy things coming up. So, yeah. All right, well.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.